Alright, this is already take 3 of recording this, so I hope we could get this done. Okay. Hi, welcome to a new video. This is Cassie, also known as Hairbomb or Hairbomb_art on Instagram, but I'm pretty much Hairbomb everywhere else. So, part 2 of my webcomic journey. In part 1, I mentioned that before I made What It Feels to Date You, I made a webcomic that is titled Hairbomb. What the hell? I just said my username. A webcomic that is titled Heartbeat. Heartbeat is a one chapter webcomic that is meant for as a school project. It was meant as a school project and is also a collaboration with my friends. My friends, which is Kiara and Tiu, and also my other classmates. So after that, I tried making another webtoon, which is Amsa Ashita Middle School Angel, which is I gave up on that one because I didn't like how it turned out and I didn't like how it was so short. I explained that more thoroughly in part 1, so make sure to check that out first. After AMSA, I made AMS also. Just to make it clear, AMSA is unpublished. I never published it, so it's a big secret. What It Feels to Date You. So let's go back on What It Feels to Date You. What It Feels to Date You is my webcomic and the only webcomic that I'm working on right now. So What It Feels to Date You is about Yuha-chan and Eita-kun suddenly dating. They are childhood friends. That was the premise. That was my inspiration, that two childhood friends would suddenly start dating. That was where I got the story from. So when I made What It Feels to Date You, I started writing the scripts on my phone. I wrote about 5 to 6 episodes with 60 panels each. That was so long. It was like an original webtoon. 60 panels is so long. For comparison, the episodes that I upload right now are mostly around 25 to 30 panels each, and it takes me around 7 to 10 days, which I also balance school and I don't actually give it my all, kind of. I'm not always drawing, okay? I'm doing other things as well, so that might explain it. If I might be able to make 60 panels if I really try, but I'll be really burnt out and I'll be really tired that I wouldn't make the next episode in about until next month, so that's bad. Anyways, so I made scripts worth 60 panels. That was 5 episodes. After that, I started working on my characters. So I made the characters just on the whim. I didn't really think that much of it. I just picked a hair color, picked an eye color, picked a skin color, and it was done. So I started with a style using a dash line art style where you have gaps in your line art. I'll show my first artwork of Eita-kun here and some panels from the first draft of episode 1. So the original What It Feels to Date You that you're seeing now in Webtoon Canvas is not actually the first draft. The script is far off. It was different. So anyways, I started with that art style, but I didn't quite like how I drew Eita-kun because I never really drew boys. I only drew like anime girls and that's it. I rarely ever draw boys, so I was really new at that and I was mad at myself because I couldn't get Eita Kun to look like how I imagine him, because I don't have the skills, because I avoid drawing boys. So that was a problem. That was a big problem. So that's why I scrapped the first draft, because I didn't like how it turned out. So I made a second draft thinking that it was only the appearance of Eitokun that bothered me. So with the same script, exactly same style, except I tried to just change Eitokun a bit, and I actually liked the second draft, obviously better than the first draft. But I still didn't like how Itakan looked. He looked better, but he looked younger too. He looked like a 12-year-old kid, and Yua, on the other hand, looked so mature. So it was so out of place. I just had to change it. So I scrapped the second draft too. I took a break for like a week, and then I tried reworking it. So I made a Microsoft Word file named main direction. In this file, I put tons and tons of bullet points of what I want the story, which scenes that I think would most likely go well and what it feels to teach. So I just type like their blind date, so there are 17 and 18 years old, things like that. Everything that pops in my head, I just write them all into bullet points. After writing so many bullet points, I arranged them. So I noticed that there was a pattern. So especially the first bullet points are usually the first part of the story, which is their blind dates and their age, their grade, their looks, their personality. So I grouped that, and I put subtitles at the top of the group bullet points so that I would know. And incidentally, everything was starting to come together, and the story was making sense again. With this style, that bullet pointing everything from start to finish, I actually made a story from start to finish, which I know how it will go from start to finish, even the middle. I might not have the details of how I would actually go from bullet point to bullet point, but I still have that goal. So I know what it feels to date you. I know how it's going to finish, and I know how it's going to go. So after that, I made another file named episode breakdown. So I made two columns on the right side. On the right side, I have the details, and on the left side, I have episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4. So the bullet points that I made earlier, I referenced them, and then I put details based on the flow of the bullet points from start to finish, and I put little details that will happen in each episode. So I broke it down, and I actually had around 110 episodes. That was long. I didn't realize how long 100 episodes will be. If you think about it, posting every week, that's around, let's say there are around 57 weeks in a year. Let's say there are 50, because sometimes you'd skip or you'd have to take a break. Let's say in general there's 50 weeks in 1 year, so that would take 2 to 3 years to finish. But the thing is, I was only 16 at that time. I used an XP Pen Deco Mini 7 drawing tablet and my laptop that occasionally lags, and the CPU maxes out every time I do line art. So I didn't realize how hard that would be, and that I would not actually be able to make episodes every week, and that things would go wrong, things would spiral out of control, I would have school to deal with. and many things that would require my attention other than my webtoon. So I didn't comprehend that at that time. I was just excited that I would publish a webtoon. Thinking about it was funny, but it was still worth it because I now have a webtoon that I am earning money from. More on that later. Anyways, mm, after getting the first and second draft out of the way, having the main direction and the episode breakdown, I started to make a character sheet. Since I was feeling quite lazy about the character sheet, I didn't want to make a character sheet for every character because that would take so long. So I just drew Yua in a new style, more more from the style that I not thinking about the style of webtoon and the style of other creators. I just drew Yua using my own style, and then I made Yua, and then I also made Ada. Those were the only two that I drew, and then the other characters like Ellie, Katsuro, Itsuki, um, every single one of them I just made when I was making the episodes. I just thought, which hair color would suit her best? What eye color would suit him best? Kind of like that. So I never made character sheets other than Eita and Yua. And there were only just tie ups, like from the tie up to their head. That was the only thing I drew. But I am, jeez. So after drawing those tie ups, I went ahead and made the prologue, which I actually really liked. I think I did good at the prologue. My art style might not be the best, but how the story flowed and how I made it, I think it's cool and I still like it. Even though I rebooted my webtoon, I still like the prologue, and I still consider the prologue as the same prologue for my rebooted version. That's why I never changed it and I never deleted it. Also, no, let's talk about the reboot in the next part. Okay, so we only have around 3 minutes left. So after I made the prologue, I was feeling excited. I decided that I would make like a 5 episode buffer, even better if it's 10 episodes. I had such high hopes, but when I reached the 3 episode, no, I finished prologue, episode 1, episode 2, and half of episode 3. I was so freaking excited that I just wanted to post it. I already reached the 3 episode that I needed to post, so I could trigger the subscribe pop-up in Webtoon. So I just decided to, never mind, let's just post this. So I posted it. It was July. It was around July. I show it on screen. It was around July. So I posted it. I posted the prologue, episode 1 and episode 2 while I was still making episode 3. I had no buffer because I was so excited I couldn't control it. I posted it, and guess what? What happened to my webtoon? After just 1 week, I had reached 1,000 subscribers. Was it 1 week? I think it was 1 week or around 2 weeks. I reached 1,000 subscribers, which my expectation was I would reach 1,000 subscribers after a year, but I reached it in like a week. I was so amazed and I couldn't believe it. A lot of people actually like my comic. Anyways, that is all for part 2. I will see you again in my webcomic journey part 3. I'm thinking of making this series just me chatting about how I eventually got to the present, to where I am now. So I really hope you guys enjoy this. Thank you so much for listening, for watching my speed paint if you were watching at all. Anyways, see you in my next video. Bye bye.